So why the heck would you want to get an inspection on your property before you list it as a seller? We'll cover that today on Frequently Asked Friday. What is going on, party people? Hope you're doing well. Hope this video catches you in a very well state. In this video today, what we're going to cover is why, as a seller, you may want to consider getting an inspection on your own on your property before you even list it. Before we get into that, if you would, like, subscribe, smash that bell so you can be notified anytime we drop a new video. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Appreciate you being here. Let's jump right into it. So, as we are seeing where the market is shifting, where we are seeing a little bit more of the pendulum has swung a little bit closer to the buyer's side. For a couple of years there, we saw where buyers were not doing home inspections on properties. They were completely waiving it. And I would say by and large, we're seeing where that is, the home inspection is something that is coming back in play, which is arguably a good thing for everybody. But the reality is sellers are now having to go through home inspections with buyers and then negotiate repairs with said buyers. So one conversation that we've been having with our clients over the last couple of weeks of, hey, now that this is now a thing again, we recommend you getting a home inspection on your property before you list it. And there's a couple reasons you might consider doing this. So what this looks like is you can go to your favorite home inspector. If you don't have one, we can make a recommendation for you. And paying the $400, $500, $600, whatever it costs to get an inspection. And what that inspector is going to do is they're going to look at your house just like they would if they were working with a buyer who's buying your house. They're going to look at it from top to bottom, soup to nuts, and they're going to give you a report on everything that has come back that's wrong with the property, and you get that full list. So here's what that does for you. Number one, that can ultimately, or you can make sure you don't get blindsided. So all of us, there's usually something going on with our house that we're not aware of. Unless you're crawling under your crawl space every day or climbing up on your roof, you're probably not aware if there are potential issues going on in your house, especially if you've not somebody that's mechanically or handyman inclined like myself. So it's good just to kind of know what you're going to be selling before you even get into listing your home and make sure that you're not blindsided by any big issues. And piggybacking off that point, this can also save your transaction. So if you go into a transaction with the buyer, if you contract with the buyer and then they find a major issue, it could cause them to go ahead and freak out if there's mold in the crawl space or there's a structural issue or something of that nature. That could send that buyer into freak out mode where they're running for the hills and they're just running away from the transaction. And that could be a big stinker for you, especially if you're counting on this transaction to buy your next house or you're just looking to move on with your life. So we want to make sure that we're not going to have any surprises once we go under contract with a buyer. The other benefit there is typically you can get stuff fixed for cheaper than you would if you were in a real estate transaction. So in our template contracts, if a buyer discovers a defect, they can request that you fix it. They can also request that said defects have to be repaired by a licensed contractor. So typically, licensed contractors will charge more than your local neighborhood handyman. And a lot of these repairs don't necessarily need to be done by a licensed contractor. If you're having electrical work done or HVAC or anything super complicated, yeah, get those licensed trades. But if it's simple wood rot that we're fixing or minor repairs, a lot of this stuff can be done either by yourself or by a local handyman, and you can get this stuff fixed a whole lot cheaper versus if you're in a transaction and a buyer's demanding that a licensed contractor do it and they're charging double, triple, whatever they're charging. So you can save yourself some potential money there. Now, the one kicker with getting a pre-inspection is that in the state of Virginia, once you're aware of a defect, you either have to fix it or you have to disclose it. And I would say 9 times out of 10, you don't want to have to go into a transaction disclosing what's wrong with your property. It's just not a good look. It's kind of the analogy I joke with homeowners. It's kind of like going on a first date and saying, here's all my personality flaws. It's better for them to kind of discover that slowly over time. So you're going to want to have to fix that. You're going to want to fix that stuff. So you're probably putting yourself in a position where you're going to have to do some repairs. The reality is you're going to deal with it now, or you're probably going to deal with it once you go into a transaction. So it's better just to go ahead and get that stuff knocked out up front. So hope that made sense. Hope that was helpful. Hope that serves you on your next home sale. If you have any questions, concerns that we didn't address, go ahead and throw it in the comments. If you like the video, give us a like if you would. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next week.